Hi, it's Anya Devine here, still in sunny West Cork. Amazing, just had a swim there this morning and now I'm going to launch back into this portrait. Sugar, forgot to put on the microphone. Let me just do that now actually. I think you've heard enough there. Okay. Alright, I think that should be better. So I'm going to kind of keep the camera. I'm aware that sometimes it's a bit boring, you know, the camera angle is always the same. And the way I put it, my nose looks a bit wonky as well. But anyway, what I'm going to do is record from a distance for a while, and then I'll bring it a bit closer when I do a bit more detail in the eye area. So I've started from life, and Ina allowed me to take some photos of her, so I'm going to continue the drawing from these photos, from this photo, just the one. And again, I've tilted her, so tilted her in my drawing, so tilting the photo just to, I suppose I like the dynamic kind of turn of the head there. Okay. So this is ink dipped into, paper towel dipped into ink. And it allows me to establish fairly quickly the general areas of dark. That's Mozart, I think, in the background, live from Bantry. Okay. Just finding again where the dark areas are, the socket of the eye. There's a little bit of shadow underneath the cheek there. And in a way it's allowing me to establish again the form of the face. So I'm kind of I'm looking again. I'm taking ownership over the work because I started in Scotland, this drawing. I spoke about establishing darks and lights and finding the form of the landscape and the landscape of the face through locating the light and dark areas with my eyes half closed. I find it's a really helpful way to do that, because then you eliminate the detail and you just see what's important. Okay. And of course, remembering to breathe. And standing back regularly is very important too. And not allowing any tension to creep in. And when it does, noticing it, give yourself a pat on the back for noticing it. And then let your arms hang down so that you're relaxed again. Just going to move this back a little so that I can see the back of the head as well. You want to maintain a kind of a sense of liveliness about yourself and to feel that you're fully grounded right down to your feet. I'm going to take my shoes off, stand really on the grass. And to kind of see the bigger picture really. And breathing into it, feeling fully alive as you work. Do you know, that's all we can do really is bring ourselves to it. Okay. I'm going to crack this is willow charcoal. I'm going to crack this into a 1-inch piece so that I can more easily establish the two directions of the eyebrow there, and this eyebrow on the right being lower than the other one. You decide where it is from your angle. And now I'm finding the turn in the cheekbone here. Maybe the white chalk would be more appropriate, seeing as it's in the light there. Finding the angle of the cheek, where this turns in relation, say, to where the turn in the nose is happening. And looking at the shape of the space made between those two turns. Often you'll find that this is parallel to the nose here, the line at the top of the cheek. I'm going to continue breathing and bringing the same light down the face, letting my arm drop so it doesn't get tired. Okay, and even turning the white chalk on its side as well in order to establish the light that's underneath the jaw here. There's a kind of a square of light there. It's lovely, and it lets me then see also that there's a kind of luminous patch underneath the spherical end of the nose there. Are you recording still? Yes, you are. Good. Just lifting some paper there as a way of establishing the light. Not really meant, anyway. And I'm going to also place a plateau of brightness here and establishing the end of the... That's great, working to that live music is really beautiful. Establishing the end of the hair where it catches the light as well. This is a violinist I saw in action the other evening in Bantry House, and he had this wild freedom to him that was just electrifying. Electrifying? Yeah, it felt like he was playing, as Eckhart Tolle said, I think, from within the music. He and the music were one, and his whole body was in action. And it just made me remember sometimes how I feel that way when I'm drawing and painting, and what a satisfying and fulfilling feeling it is, and to not sacrifice anything for that. A habit to fully show up, yeah. Okay, as the kind of wild people we are, you know. Okay, the shadow, the light on the lower lip there, and some light on the chin. Okay. Maybe we'll put this back a little bit so that we capture some of the movement, hopefully without the umbrella getting in the way. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to bring it closer because I'm going to explain how I would describe an eye using this method. And I might be out of the picture for a while, but hopefully you'll be able to see more clearly what's happening in the area of the eye. And I used charcoal in the first instance to locate, let's see. So you found the position of the eyebrow. I reckon that it's needing to be moved over a little further to the left there, because the eyebrow is going to surround the space within which the eye sits, and you want to be sure that you've got enough distance here as well to find where the corner of the eye will be. And locating it in relation to the shape of the skin between the eyebrow and the eye really has been a really helpful way of locating the upper lid. Look at the shape of the space made between the upper lid and the eyebrow, and between the eye and where the nose, the C shape of the nose meets the face. You want it to be convincing. I think it needs to be in a little bit further, that C shape. Okay. And this line is to establish the direction. It's not about the length or anything, it's just about getting the general direction of that line. And then from the corner of the eyebrow down, there'll be this kind of an arc that represents the line where the lower lid meets the skin of the socket of the eye underneath it. Oh, you know, the lower lid, yeah, the shadow where the skin hugs the iris, hugs the ball of the eye. Eyeball, I suppose. Okay, and then deepening the tone of the upper lid again so that I'm not losing that in the equation, because the upper lid really is a hugely helpful shape to find. And if you can find two directions of the upper lid and where those directions would intersect the eyebrow, that'll help you to get the scaffolding of the eye in place. And now there's a steeper slope up here, to the inner corner. So the inner corner, yeah, it's up a little bit steeper. Let's see. I'm just going to figure out what's happening here, really. I'm going to be curious and really observe. This is what's needed. Keen observation and standing back regularly. And when I do that, I recognize that actually all of it needs to be lifted higher. And I'm going to bring the eye, the image of the eye, a little closer to me. And this is, you would set yourself up when you're working from a live model so that you can clearly see the model and see the board by only moving your eyes. Although you're physically active in your body, remember to steady yourself and be able to observe from pretty much the same viewpoint each time. And so you were taking a penalty shootout. Steady yourself, really steady yourself. And see the trajectory of where the ball's going to go. Maybe even sense it in the air or do it in the air. And only when you're sure that you can commit to the mark would you then hit the paper, because it needs to be a decisive thing. Okay. So there's quite a shift happened there now. What am I doing? Okay. I think I need to lift this higher again to create more distance here. Is it still moving? Yes, it's still moving. Just another couple of minutes. Oh, okay. So lifted the eyebrow. And now I'm half closing my eyes. I'm going to locate the position of the iris actually, so that when I stand back I can clearly see then whether it's located in the place where I want it to be. And maybe the upper lid would be helpful here too. Yeah, there she is. She's coming. Of course, that doesn't stick very well to charcoal. It's so hot. And now, so we've got the iris. And then there's this light underneath. If I had a rubber, I would use it maybe. But failing that, I've got the light from the chalk, which I'm going to locate, with which I'm going to locate the other position of the other eyebrow. There's a great empathy in Ina's gaze. And you can kind of feel yourself finding her without it being emotive. It arises on its own, some sort of connection. And I'm really grateful to the models in my life for that connection, to make possible that intangible thing that you can't put words to, that allows us to connect together energetically somehow. And I don't understand really. I don't really understand, but I just know that it's a beautiful thing, and that's why I keep at this. So finding the shape of the white of the eye without making it really, really white. I want to use it to see if I'm happy with the position of the eye. And more I want to do less. So I'm going to try to, exercise a touch of restraint as well. So when you step back, building in that pause, that necessary bit of breathing space. And really it's about being sure of the position of things and then committing to it, having courage to commit to it once you're sure. And then it's okay if it is a mistake, you'll address it later on. You'll be able to adjust it if it is needing adjusting. But at some point there needs to be a commitment. Yeah. So, at some point there needs to be a commitment. A decision needs to be made, because not making a decision is actually making a decision, isn't it? Okay. It's making the decision not to act, and then the agency leaves us. I don't want that. Okay. So there's a lovely bit of light coming in here. There are certain things that when you find them will help to locate, like the arc of the eyebrows. Now I'm going to re-establish that again. Did you see how much I needed to move that eyebrow so that it would read convincingly with the other one? Okay, I've just got another minute. And in that time I'm standing back and assessing what really it is that needs to be. The time is best spent observing and being attentive and curious as to what is really going to nail it. What will be the thing that will the final mark, and I think it might be something to do with yeah, a little bit more definition in the light here, possibly on the upper surface of the lower lid. But also it's something about out here and distinguishing the hair from the face. Out here a touch more, just a touch more. It's not like really bright, just to identify where it stops, and also where the light on the forehead stops and the eyebrow starts. Some of my videos are really bad for sound, I'm sorry about that, but this one hopefully won't be. Alright, light here too. And you know, less is more. This is Anya Divine saying goodbye. I just got 10 seconds left. Less is more. So let me just show you what happened there. I was excited by that because there isn't really a formula in eyes, you know, there isn't really a formula that needs to be followed. More it's in being true to what